What's up, everybody? It's your main man T-Bone. Today's video, I want to talk about why I'm highly qualified for the gospel music and entertainment industry. So, let me start off with saying that I am the son of a preacher man. My dad was a preacher of two churches in Jackson, Mississippi. He preached his whole life before he passed away. That was about 10 years ago. So he preached all of his life since he got out of the army. He got saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost as a young man in the army. Once he got out of the army, he went and settled down and started preaching at a church. And he started preaching, and he met a young woman at the church that he was preaching at, and they started dating, got married, had kids, and they had 3 sons, including me. So growing up, my mom and dad were very active in church as well as outside of church, active in ministry, helping people with problems, um, emotional problems, spiritual problems, financial problems. Um, and my oldest brother, when he got up to be a teenager, he became the keyboard player for the church of my dad, as well as the minister of music. And my middle brother played the drums for the church. And so they were around 16, 17, 18 around this time. And I was a kid in elementary growing up in this environment. Um, Even though I was really very young, my dad put me put me around the audio visual production equipment. Um, I remember going with him to the radio station while he do his preaching ads for his ministry. So I was young, but I was still learning what I would be doing in the future from him. My mom is a retired school teacher who taught 20 years for Jackson Public Schools. And so she's always been a great source of inspiration when it comes to reading and studying the Bible, going to church, doing right by others, praying, speaking in tongues, being a good person, when people do you wrong and still being good, still praying for them, even though people spitefully use you. So my dad built a church from the ground up in the late 90s. And like I said, my brother was the head musician in the church. And my middle brother, played the drums. And he just was both of them were highly musical. And I drew a lot of inspiration from them later on. My brother, my oldest brother, he would ride around in his car with my middle brother, my cousin, a bunch of my different cousins, and me. And he would sneak around and listen to secular music. Both of my brothers would. Um, all types of people, Outkast, Jay-Z, D'Angelo, Lauryn Hill, anybody you could think of. And my middle brother, he was listening to um, Lil Wayne and Juvenile, and, the Hot Boys. Uh, he would just be listening to a lot of different things. They were both highly musical. So I was young and I was in the background soaking up all the information that was going on. And as I got into my teenage years, rather as I got into my adult years, my dad was preaching for another church in Jackson. After he stopped preaching full time, he was preaching part time at a church in Jackson, and he was able to get me into the audio visual part of the church. And I was pretty much one of the only persons up there doing all the church um, audio visual broadcasting, um, live. I know one time they had a live um, music church concert, and I did the audio visual for that. So all of that was preparing me for what was up ahead for me, which would be combined with me starting to make beats and starting to do music production with digital audio workstations, recording equipment, music studios. I learned all of that from being in church with my family.